Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Ears to the East, where well, we're going to be talking about the greatness and awesomeness that will be coming out tomorrow.
Woo!
Truly, truly, yeah. No, this has been just to clarify, this has been the single biggest, most exciting project that I've ever worked on. Is this brand new channel that I'm doing? Not to say that Ears to the East is not truly the
He's
greatest
abandoned
channel in the
us.
world.
He's abandoning us, folks. He's off to pastures
Sorry,
new.
who are you again? No, I mean it's a project that I wanted to do for a long time, and it's kind of like a two-pronged thing, not quite a trident, in that it's got it's got a video, a music video that I'm worked on, sorry, which features Japanese artists, two Japanese artists who I really, really, really have been wanting to work with for a while, collaborating, performing a song together that I wrote for and with them. And then this channel is also going to have a bunch of interviews, dual language. You'll be able to watch them in both Japanese and English with a load of artists from all over Japan. And I do mean all over Japan, sort of like artists who you might not have heard of, giving exclusive interviews and also doing live sessions in the studio. It's basically like imagine First Take, but even more real because it's just in a practice room where the bands hang out. Plus, it's got multilingual interviews with such fantastic questions as the ones you would expect me to give. You got that. You got this new music video. Basically, this is this new channel I'm coming out with. Oh man, if you like live music, if you like hearing original music, if you like interviews, if you like anything, I think we got it. I think we got it, man. So
Hell yeah, more real in the sense that
end of
you don't,
conversation.
yeah, you don't have the funds to do what the first take does.
What? Get a white room?
I suppose you could actually. Yeah. Nah, that
No,
looks.
actually,
I'm incredibly excited for this. I've seen your trailer
yeah,
for
you
the new
saw the
channel as
trailer
well.
for the
Mm.
interviews. Yeah, what did you think of that?
Yeah, no, I think it looks. I think it looks really good, man. I liked what you did with the trailer. I don't think it like outstays its welcome or anything like that. Really short,
Like
really
that's what
sweet.
you took from that's what you took from the trailer. It's not too fucking long.
It's not too fucking long. It's short and sweet. It piques your interest,
Oh
and it makes you want. It makes you, it makes you want more. And I'm really looking forward to the launch of the channel as well. So, which is going to be awesome. I mean, this is going to be
my
what
god.
our second video I think we're recording out of three because I imagine we'll probably do one once the channel launches and the next Camel
Oh,
Candid
okay.
Ashen video is out.
Yeah, so I mean, we're probably gonna between other things. I mean, so this might also be a worthwhile point to sort of explain to the audience. This is one of the reasons why everything's been a little bit slow on Ears to the East. Is, at the moment, obviously, Neon's got loads of stuff going on. I'm making all this stuff. Benedict has been off for a while because his new house is being built. Finally, he's finally getting his own house. And the thing is that getting internet put in apparently is really difficult in Japan, Germany. Where the fuck is he again? So
I don't know.
is
He
he
says
there?
he says he's in Germany, but he's secretly I don't know in like the Sahara Desert somewhere or something. Who knows?
It's just sort of like next time he does like an episode with us, he just like opens the door and just sand blows in, and you have to push it close. It's another stormy day here in Bavaria. But yeah, so basically, with all that coming up, the first thing that's coming up though is this music video, which is a video that I have been so excited about for a while. Been so excited about the song that I wrote. Obviously, it's got lyrics and performance by Otto from Caramel Candid, as well as Asen, who is the best way I can describe her is she is basically the rapper who I would play to people who are like, oh, I'm not sure if I really into rap because she's the one who'll make you go, look, all the stuff you don't like about rap, she's not got that. She's the sort of person who people who like rap can like and people who don't like rap can like because she's just so rhythmic. She has these little sung harmonies in her performances in the verse. It's just beautiful the way she was taking the stuff I was writing in the background and like improvising these really cool harmonies in the middle of her rap along to it. Her lyrics are so cool. She's got a wonderful personality. And then on top of that, you got Otto, who I just think for me, she is like, I know not everyone agrees. I just think she has the best singing voice I think I've heard from anyone in a very long time, and just sings with so much passion, and she writes these amazingly clever lyrics. Blasting out this chorus that I wrote that I was just like, that is a banger of a chorus. And so I gave her this banger of a chorus and said, write lyrics that are more intelligent than anything I would say. And so she did. So yeah, it's such a pleasure to see something that I wrote being given its whole life. And obviously through the lyrics, we had a whole sit down writing session where Aston and Otto met for the first time. And I was like, well, look, I want you guys both in this song because you're so incredibly lyrical, but so different people. So I just wanted them to talk to each other and really sort of like, what's the common message that you can both approach in a different way? And we sort of were talking a lot about the whole thing about, you know, it sounds generic on paper until you read the lyrics, but the whole thing about kind of like when you want to be artistic and you want to express yourself, but there's like these sort of things about how do you do that, and like how do you sort of like let yourself out, you know, without obviously being a nut job. How do you let yourself out in a creative way whilst also trying to like live life? And they just took this really uplifting approach to it, which and again, so honest and so really on the nail with some of the stuff they talked about in the lyrics. There was even something that Assen wrote in one of her verses, which was like, it was this really interesting thing that afterwards it just sort of it even made me think about myself. I was like, damn, I'm looking in the mirror differently now. So, and then on top of that, it's a banger. So,
That's cool. That's cool, man. That's cool. Like, obviously, you know, I know that you've been out the game for a while, not by choice.
whoa.
Obviously, it's a bit of a hard industry to crack since you've been over there. And, you know, unfortunate that we're not, both of us aren't exactly rich or have really anybody to support us. But for you,
Can I just say, if I'm taking the old man Logan like role in this particular story, then I'm making you into Patrick Stewart.
that's fine with me. Everybody loves Patrick Stewart.
Unfortunately, we both got the hairline for it.
I know.
We both got the hairline for it.
We do. To me, my X-Men. Yeah, absolutely amazing. But what was it like, sort of like coming back into that role? Obviously, I know that you get on more. Obviously, we're both like Caramel Candid and Ashen. Was there any problems with like juggling two artists? Like the way that the song is made, because originally, like as you told me, it was like, you know, a Caramel Candid song featuring Asin, or has she got more of a role, like more of a say in on how this song worked or anything like that? Or did you approach it like from the angle that like you created this song and then you let them sort of tinker with the parts that you kind of set out for them? Like how did that work?
Well,
like completely. Well, how did it start? More, yeah.
I mean, the thing is that like, I kind of knew. I've been dabbling around. I mean, also I've done a lot of music with other people. I've written for other people. I've done my own music. I've done all these kind of things. Done some of it professionally, a lot of it amateur. I've just always been sort of writing and creating music in that space. As much as I love performing it, it's like, you know, this is not the face that people are going to go buy records from. This is a YouTube podcasting kind of face, you know, middle-aged, white, little bit of a beard, not much of a hairline, so wears a hat. That's my place in society, unfortunately. But you know, when you love making music, you love making music, especially if you've done it professionally as well. You just kind of know it's something that, you know, you can do. And so I've been dabbling for years. I've done a couple of songs with a couple of artists while I've been out here, where I was more contributing things. As you know, my dear friend and co-worker on Baka Broadcast, Choka Kandachi, she's got her new album coming out, which I was taking quite a big role in that. And we've been working on that since August of 2023, I think it was, when we started working on that. And it was around that time where, because she'd asked me to help on that, and you know, I got into doing that. And like I said, I've been dabbling with other artists, that as a result, I kind of was like, well, look, I want to do something that's just, I want to do something that I want to do. As much as I love working with these other people, rather than me working on other people's projects, like what do I want to make? Because it felt like so long since I sat down and just like just threw what I wanted to do out and just had that feeling that it's just like, that's me. That's what I wanted to do. And again, it's like I don't think there's a huge credibility in, as much as I like singing and performing my own songs. It's not a huge amount of, that's not going to draw much. Um, and it was around that time I'd already started getting quite into Caramel Candid as of last summer. Obviously, met them, went to their very first show with them, and been so involved with the band. And as I said, it struck me that just Otto for me was just this singer who I I just loved her voice. I just thought this is, I could hear her sing anything, I would be happy. And so the reason it really started was like, I wanted to do something with Otto. But then also it came up, I was like, well, look, I can't just kidnap this woman and make her sing songs that I write for the rest of my life. This is not a viable business model. So I started thinking a lot about, well, I'm doing this other project where I'm doing this interview channel where I'm bringing in artists. So why don't I just contact some of these artists who've been kind enough to come and do these interviews and say, look, would you be interested in working on some original songs that I'm working on as well? Because maybe after the interviews, they'll get on with me and they'll maybe be interested in that. And that's something which will hopefully lead into the future. But in regards to this particular project, I was starting to think that way. And that's one of the reasons why I originally contacted Assen. Now, me and Assen, she ended up coming in and doing an interview and a live performance thing as well. She'll also be on that channel in that role as well. But I was like, I had heard her rap. I'd recommended her on one of my new artist recommendation things. And it's just like, it's just like I say, for me, as someone who enjoys rap music, but often struggles to like play rap music to other people I like, because they maybe have a front-loaded opinion of it, or maybe they're just not genuinely not into it. Every time I heard her, I was like, she's just such a quintessential example about what good rap can be. So I was like, God, what if I get her on a song? What if I get her on a song with Otto? And that's where it started building up. Anyway, basically, when it comes to this actual song, I was going to write something completely from the ground up, but I had this demo that I worked on probably about 12 years ago now, that it leaked out and it did quite well on the fledgling internet as it was at the time. Did quite well. And so I basically took aspects of that because I knew that it had a killer chorus. I knew that people basically liked it. I was like, yeah, it was underdeveloped though when it first like got out and about on the internet. So I was like, I want to generate something based on that. And so I took the chorus, I took some elements, and I created something that for me was what that song should have been, but with artists who are much more talented. Instead of me putting my lyrics in there, I thought, why don't we get these two women to bounce off each other? And as for putting it together, I mean, literally, that writing session where I got Assen and Otto together was the second time ever that I'd met Assen. And obviously with Otto, she had not met this woman either. So I'm like just inviting them along. And there was just this love of it. I invited them both to this cafe in Shinjuku for a nice, easy place near to a station where we can sit down and talk. And they both turned up at virtually exactly the same time. Just one gets to the door, I'm like, hey, and then the other turns up, I'm like, hey. It's just like perfect meeting. Had a writing session, and it just all sort of stemmed from there. But when it comes to balancing the artists, obviously they have different schedules, they have their things they're doing. But what I think really surprised me is because the music video it was shot over 4 separate days, and that 4th day was kind of reshoots because we had like technical problems on the 3rd day. With all of that, what really surprised me is every time I was like, I could really use another session to work on this, another session to work on that. They would always be like, let me find a day. And it was like always like they were so enthusiastic to work on it. They were finding days in their schedule. They were turning up. Yeah, it was just, it really surprised me how excited they were to work on it. So yeah, it was a real pleasure.
Would you say then, obviously, with this song being sort of so many years in the making through various projects or whatever, would you say that the song then maybe is more of a projection of yourself, and maybe a little bit more than the girls? Or did the girls put their kind of like spin on it a little bit more as well? Like, would you say it's this particular song and the way that it's been made is from them, or sort of from you a little bit more?
That's a really good question. I definitely think without a shadow, I mean, I would say without a shadow of a doubt, the reason why, I mean, the way the song's been constructed, it has been constructed around them and their lyrics. The way they've performed the song is utterly the front and center of the song. However, the reason why I chose this particular chorus and like chose this particular pattern and the things I've worked on that led to being this were it's kind of a mixture of something. Yes, I had worked on it before. There are elements of things I worked on before that I moved into this song, but it was only because I started talking to them and I was like, yes, this works with Aston. This works with Otto. This is so caramel candid. This would really go well. So it was like I was going back for things, but I was sort of grabbing things that I'd worked on before, elements of things I worked on before, because I was so inspired by what they were doing. I would say, however, though, that there is probably a large element of me in there. I get the feeling there's some of the simpler elements of the song go back to things that I are very much from, me 12 years ago, I guess, or maybe even longer ago than that. And then there are elements, there's little intricacies, there's a lot of layers of intricacies in this. And they're things that are very much stuff that I think there's a lot of the evolution of what I've done is showing here, from the simplest to more complicated elements. And the one thing I'm really excited about, as everyone knows, I say a bridge makes or breaks a song. Even more important than the chorus is the bridge. And I just love the fact that the bridge, they enjoyed making it. Whereas we sat down, we worked on it, and just like it started off as a vocal thing, then it was a vocal harmony thing. Then Assen put a rap bit, and so we got like a dual layered melodic rap happening over a dual layered melodic undersinging from Otto. And then you've got this chord pattern that when I tried to teach it to Otto, she was like, "That is too many chords." And she was like sitting in the studio, and she's like, "Can you just write it down?" I wrote it down, and she's like, doesn't repeat at any point. I was like, yeah, no. I was like, we were just kind of so the bridge as well, because like there was the bridge is completely none of that goes back. That was all stuff that I wrote here and now, like in the last few months for this song. And so I listened to the bridge and I listened to the chorus, which goes way back. It's something that I'd wanted to work with, a pattern I'd wanted to do for ages. And it's like really interesting seeing this chorus, which is very sort of old school me, combined with this bridge, which is really kind of with things that I've developed over time. So for me, I think I can see a lot of personal things in it. I don't know whether anyone else would necessarily notice those, but I think I definitely have a very personal feeling about this song. Absolutely, yeah.
I know we touched on it as well. The couple. I think it was last week we were talking about it, but I want to ask again. Obviously, like you said, working back, this song was originally meant for somebody else, or it started off with intended for somebody else, and obviously over the years it's transformed into what it is today. Does the original artist or the person, because I know we touched on this before, like is she or her or he in this video at all? Do they know about the song existence?
I think that might have been a misunderstanding. So the original artist was me. It was actually
it was you.
But so when we had that demo come out, the demo came out, and then just because people were enjoying it, we filmed a little music video, and there was a lady who is now, interestingly, in the years since, she was a model at the time, a friend of mine who was a model. She appeared in the music video, and then since then she's become a YouTuber, and she's actually doing quite well. And as a result, she kind of like does this whole channel about like spooky stories and stuff, and like looks into like murder mysteries, the kind of stuff that really fills up daytime TV. But she's a dear old friend of mine, and honestly one of the sweetest and loveliest human beings alive. And I just sort of said to her, I was like, look, this song, it's not the same song, but it carries so much of the DNA of that older song. I was like, I would not feel comfortable putting out a music video to this if you didn't have a cameo in it. So we've worked out a very clever way to put a cameo in it for her and for someone else who you might know. And so
spoilers.
No, it's she absolutely had to be in it. And by the way, I should point out, if anyone wants to see her, her channel beautifully. You know how my channels are all like alliteration, Baka broadcast, band broadcast, lyric learner, ears to the east. Hers is alliteration as well. Her channel goes by the name of Sarah Sinister. If you look for her,
love it.
She is the lass who was in the original video. And yeah, she's going to make a little cameo in this, which I was just so over the moon about.
Dude, I love how you start off with the description. Oh, she's so nice, she's so sweet, you know, really polite. Murder mysteries.
Yeah,
I don't.
yeah, yeah. So like, it's like,
It's
she's such a
always the
lovely,
way. Yeah, always
such a lovely
always
lady when she's talking about like Ted Bundy and Charles Manson and stuff. You're like, oh, but she's a real sweetheart.
She's a real sweetheart, but she's into murder.
Yeah, I don't know what is it about. Why are so many people into freaking murder? It's like that's the last thing I want to hear about. It's like, in all fairness, if a murder is happening to me, it's probably not much use for me anymore to know what, because I'm probably dead. But you know, a lot of people really enjoy death. It's, I mean, look, it's a more lucrative YouTube model than what we're doing. That's what
Probably. So what are your hopes then for this video? Like what are your expectations versus kind of like what you kind of like hope to happen, you know, realistically? You know, we don't like a million views on a video, but you know.
There is something of a bit of a, there's a little bit of a pit in my stomach where I can't help but feel, especially considering that I'm taking the risk of putting this on a brand new channel, that I get the feeling this video is going to come out, and despite all my efforts, probably very low fanfare and probably going to get a couple hundred views and then die a death. But what I'm really hoping that when this comes out, obviously I want the community to get behind it, but that I would only ask them to get behind something they enjoyed. So hopefully they'll enjoy it when it premieres tomorrow at time of this. Hopefully they'll enjoy it when it comes out. And if they do, I'd ask them, first of all, rewatch that video. All right. There is a reason why music videos get high numbers of views when they do well. It's not because like if it gets like 1 billion views, that's not 1 billion people. That's like 1 million people who watched it 1,000 times. I'm saying
there you go, watch it 1,000 times, you've been told.
Yeah. Don't stop at 1,000. But so I'm hoping that people rewatch it. But the other thing as well, I'm hoping that like I said, I want you to be able to do a reaction to it. I want like reactors to get out there. I'd like people to do it. The other thing as well is because after this, there's going to be those interviews that I'm really excited about, all that stuff coming out. I'm hoping that slowly people are just going to find this video as well. And I'm just hoping that it has legs. I don't expect it to suddenly burst. I mean, if it gets less than 4 figures, I think I'd be kind of upset, but I'm hoping at least it gets 1,000 and then just legs. Just let it keep walking, keep growing. Just keep people aware of it. And then hopefully we'll see. But the reason being, and I said this before, I'm doing this for fun for me because I want to do it. But this whole idea of this new channel, band broadcast, do check it out if you haven't already. It will be linked in the description below. I hope I remember to do that. The whole thing about this new channel that I'm doing is this is really where I get to connect you with new artists. So if you like it, if you like the rap bits, if you like the rock bits, go sub, go check out Aston, go check out Otto, go check out Caramel Candid. That's kind of what I really hope from it. And so considering we put in so much work into this, I really hope that all of that work comes to fruition in people enjoying more by going and checking out the artists. If you like what they do in this song, you will like what they do in their own rights. So
yeah, I like that, man. That's
thank you.
That's a good little advertisement, man. So like I said, I personally hope that you do really well. Like I've never wanted somebody more to succeed than I hope when this video drops on the 19th, I believe. So
15th.
So
basically at the time that you're watching this, people,
it probably
it's
already
coming out. It's coming out tomorrow. No, it's coming out tomorrow.
It's coming out tomorrow. So make sure you go to the new channel. Link will be in the description down below, and go and prepare for the goodness.
I'm gonna change my name. youtube.com/@band-o-broadcast. There it is. Assuming it's not. Sometimes when we put these little names down at the bottom, they get chopped off by the graphics, the ETTE graphics. So hopefully it's not chopped off by the ETTE.
Oh, hopefully not. Hopefully not. The link is in the description anyway.
Yeah.
Go and smash him a like and a sub if you haven't already, and enjoy the video that's dropping tomorrow.
I think the other thing as well, though, I am excited, very excited to get those interviews out because we've been working on those for like over a year now.
Yeah, again, the teaser from the trailer, I like the hamburger or ramen question, and I love how one of the girls goes ramen instantly, like completely doesn't even think about it, and the other one's like, oh.
Yeah, so that was the girls from Iris Mondo, and yeah, Satan's like she's just like she was really cool in that interview because she was just so factual, but like she had this like really sort of lovely smiling, just that happy to be there kind of like attitude, which I found really comforting. Um, and then you got Kurumi, who's just like such an absolute, just like she's such a free spirit. And you ask her a question and you get a very visceral response, whatever it is. And some of the questions I asked, so basically I started off by joking around with that ramen or hamburger thing, and the reaction was so good that I followed it up with a lot more this or this questions, and we just sort of did that for a few minutes. And some of their responses are brilliant. The best one was when I asked them about superpowers, and there is a line, I didn't hear it, but Saturn said a line in the background that, well, you have to watch the interview to see it, but it was like, oh. Didn't look at it that way. So there is some really funny stuff in that. Plus, the live performances are just great. I mean, again, it's one of those things where it's just so cool because I really get the feeling that in a kind of a silly way, but I feel like I do feel like this channel is actually giving you a bit of the vibe of what it's like to be in a live house. It really does seem to. Watching it back, I was like, yeah, this feels like a live house to me. It's really cool. So I get the feeling like I'm really getting the opportunity to give people a slice of that thing that for me is so important. You know, we talked about the first take jokingly earlier, but the first take is like, it's obviously it's really clean cut, super professional. Everything looks like it's filmed in an anechoic chamber. You know, like no one can breathe. All the air's been sucked out the room.
It's
You know,
secretly filmed on the moon.
And so, yeah, it's like in that little moon base from the Truman Show. And like, you know, but I get the feeling that, I mean, I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to just have like, oh, you know, some like cheap knockoff, oh, let's try and be the first take kind of thing. I wanted to do something which was raw, honest, a bit, and you know, more than like, oh, let's go to a very professional setting. It's more like, this is what it's like just to hang out with these bands. It's like, let's give you the vibe of you're in a room with the bands, they'll play some music and have a chat. I was like, that's what I want you to get the feeling of. And that's really what it feels like. That's why I was so proud of this. I couldn't believe how well it came across. I couldn't believe how much it actually felt like exactly what I wanted it to feel like, which is that just that live house, hanging out with bands, checking out their music, enjoying their personalities kind of thing. I mean, shit, if I could put a merch table at the end so you could go buy their t-shirts, I would. But I might just have to give you links to their online shops. Not all of them have online shops. So again, we'll have to work. If you want any merch from any of those bands as well, I mean, that'll be something where I want people to let me know so then I can contact the bands and go, hey, sell some merch.
Sell some merch for sure, for sure, for sure.
Make some money.
Get a bit of commission off it as well, you know. Help you pay for it.
You gotta make sure you got your merch.
Exactly. There you go. Love it.
So things hanging everywhere.
Obviously doing the channel and doing the music videos and stuff like that. What was your what would you say your best experience was and the worst one?
Best and worst. I think so. I mean, I think the worst experience really with these kind of things, a lot of the time it's just that pressure when you get like really inside your own head, you know, when you're working on it, and obviously it means a lot to you. Well, in this case, me, obviously. And so you're so focused on like having to get everything right, having to get it all perfect that you know, sometimes you don't smell the roses and go, wow, this is awesome. We're having a really good time here because, and especially because it's, you know, I directed the video, I designed the video, storyboarded it. It's an extremely complicated video as well. I had this really cool idea for a video I wanted to do for a while, and finally this was my opportunity to do it. I've directed some music videos before, very amateurishly, but you know, I've always enjoyed it. I've got a lot of compliments for the videos I've directed before, and they tend to be quite creative. Always have a concept. It's not just film a band in a room. And so, not storylines or anything, but I try to do something interesting visually that matches the feel of the music.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I was really in that. And, the music video itself, I'll have to double check this figure, but I think it was over 50 locations we ended up using over those 4 days. It was an insane number of locations, and you'll see why when you see the video.
Nice.
It was, and I had to go beforehand, scout out each location, angles and everything. We had to go back. Each of the shots has to tie in perfectly. So there's like all kinds of like work I had to do, like getting everything exactly right. And so when you're doing that, you're always, and the girls as well, they're there working because they're excited to work, but they have like, Otto will be like, oh, I've got to go to work at this time, and Aston will be like, oh, I can only show up at this time. And so you're on a time schedule with time, and so you're panicking, working, and I think the stress can be the worst thing, but it's also the best thing, because like I say, in the same, when you do occasionally like look up from a difficult shot, the camera's overheating or something, you look up and you see their faces and they're smiling back at you like I'm having a really good time today. You just sort of look at them and you go, they're happy. It's like, I'm thinking like, oh, fuck, I'm wasting their time. They're stressed. They need to get out of here. Or they're just looking at me fucking around with equipment. But I look up at them and they're just like, they're smiling and they're like, oh, this is really fun. And then when they get head off, they're like, oh, I had a really good day today. Thank you. And you're like, oh, I wish I'd enjoyed the moment a little bit more now. But
yeah.
No, it was actually great. By the way, I should point out as well, during our 50 locations, I think 50 locations of filming, you get those videos online on YouTube where people walk around and it's just like 4K video walking around Tokyo or something like this. Yeah.
Yeah.
Someone messaged me on Discord. We ended up in one of those videos without knowing it.
Did you?
We're filming in the middle of Akihabara. We were up there filming. I didn't notice because I'm working with the camera. This is when the camera was overheating. We got Aston and Otto both standing on the street on their marks, getting ready to film. And I'm just setting up the camera. And while I'm doing this, I did not see a guy was walking past with the camera. And someone on my Discord showed me, it's like, there it is. It's like streaming. It's just like walking around Akihabara. And he's walking past. And there's like me and Aston and Otto fucking around with this camera and everything. And it's just like, oh, look at the views. This is what Akihabara looks like.
You're gonna have to show me that.
Fuck. Yeah. I have to
show me that. Yeah, for sure.
Crazy, but yeah. So we got caught up on that, which was really fun. But yeah, no, I'm just over the moon excited. And I think if I were to be honest, if I was going to add a sales pitch at the end of this for the song, I think rhythmically it's really cool. You can definitely bang your head to it. It's a proper head banging song.
Yeah.
It's got a great catchy chorus. It's got development. It's got musicality. And it doesn't outstay its length. I believe it's just shy of 4 minutes, which is a bit long for me. But
so that's what she said.
There we go. I was waiting for that one. Just walked into that one. But yeah, it's
that's a lie. He's never lasted 4 minutes.
Oh dear, think about baseball. Anyway, so yeah, I think the whole video, the whole song, I just really hope and think it will be something that people will enjoy. I hope people listen to it all the way through. I hope they enjoy the video. I hope they enjoy the sort of the mixture of the visual and the musical, and just really take in what I'm hoping is two artists who I really believe in performing a song that I feel kind of honored and generally happy to have the chance to express and finally complete after years of dicking around with the chorus that I never used properly.
I'm excited for you, man. I'm excited for you. I've got one more question, and then that we should be able to wrap it up.
Okay. Free version of Zoom.
Free versions. We're not worried. Obviously, both artists have been signed. I believe when you were with Ash, and she wasn't signed, but now she is. Obviously, having two artists coming.
Aston was signed to Hi Lo Who, and so Caramel Candid are not signed, but they are working with, shall we say, a couple of companies who very much
Want to.
they are not they've got a direction.
All right, fair enough.
Um,
Like with that in the background, I don't, like, did you have like any pushback or any guidance? Did they try to get involved in any way with what you were doing? Like, what was that like doing this, working with two artists, but also maybe with that in the background? Or did they just leave you completely to do your own thing?
That's actually really interesting. The interesting side to both of those, but I can tell you the answers fairly quickly. But so first of all, with Aston, because when Aston was signed, she was signed pretty early during the process when we started talking about this. The project hadn't really taken off, but we decided we wanted to do this, and so I approached her and I was like saying, "Well, look, I've worked with record companies before, and I do not want to cause a problem here, but I also don't want them causing a problem for us." I spoke to her and she was like, actually, it's fine. She's like, we basically just got a distribution only deal, which basically means they have no creative control. It just means when she puts stuff out, she gets the benefit of them distributing it through their YouTube channel and stuff.
Yeah.
And at the same time, they get obviously their cut of, I'm sure, like advertising revenue and stuff off of videos or whatever. So basically everyone wins, but there's no creative control. It's just kind of like hey, we believe in you enough to put you out through our whole thing. And, she believes in them spreading the word enough to do it. So it's a win-win situation.
Will this video ever see the light of day, maybe on their YouTube channel, push it out a little bit more? Or is this you're going to keep it solely on your channel?
I don't know yet, but I am making teasers that I'm going to give to the other artists as well, so that they can like put it through whatever services they're happy to use, whether it be private or not. But I'm not sure on that yet. But they will have advertising material to hopefully put out, hopefully on their record company as well. But the other one I've mentioned was when it came to Otto and Caramel Candid. Now, without giving too much details of what they're working on, they're working actually with a really, really nice, I'll call it an organization, a really nice entity in the music industry. But this
try not to give anything away. I love it.
Yeah, I can't. I'm not really allowed to say much about their business. I work very closely with them just for privacy sake. But one thing I can say, I think a lot of people know, I was in the studio with Caramel Candid a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
And one of the representatives from large company X was there. And it turned out that the person from large company X was not so aware of this project. And so it kind of came up and Otto was just like, yeah, I'm doing it. Oh, okay, that's cool. It's like, she was like, yeah, I'm doing it. And Guy was just like, okay. And so I was like, Otto, like sweet and cute. She was like, doing it. So this is definite, like, I am going to fucking be doing this video. And credit, like, this is what I loved about like the rep who was there as well. He was just so cool. He's like, okay, give me the details. I was like, I gave him all the details. Like, okay, cool. So I'm not going to argue with this. This makes sense. But yeah, I think they know me. They know how much I've worked with Caramel Candid. So the three of us, there was a really good dialogue, which was really lovely. Yeah. So yeah, I can't wait. I don't think I'm going to get sued for this. So yeah. New video coming out tomorrow. Links will be in the description below. And if the video is already out, then I'll try and update it. So this video itself will have a little link straight to it, so you can watch it now, hopefully, if it's already out.
Yeah.
Wait, you'll find out.
Yeah. If you watch this first or second, go and watch the video again. That's all that needs to be said. Go and watch it again for the 998th time.
Damn right. Let's beat Despacito.
we need these videos to do well, so I can get in good standing with Otto and Ashton, so they can advertise my Y Golf shirts. So
you had to get that in.
Yep. It's happening. It's happening. Otto is going to be wearing a Y Golf.
He's going to make it happen. That's for. Anyway, thank you so much, everyone, for listening. I hope you enjoy it. I hope you enjoyed this chat. There'll be more of us. We'll be getting more active as time goes on and as we get over all of this. But until then, do remember to keep your ears
to the east. Or Moko. I want Moko to do the shit, actually.
I'll ask her. She's not called Moko.